Most pros right now are completely trashing the game state, and I'm sure you guys also share the same opinion. However, I sense that there are some sheep in the audience. Are you a sheep? Well, you know, there's a few ways to find out. One way you can figure that out is slap yourself on the ass. If you can do that, you're probably not a sheep, but that, to be honest, that test is only effective like 50% of the time, so it's not good enough. You need more tests. Here's one. What do you think about Axe? It's being talked about, you know, left and right. I've talked about it left and right. Hell, sometimes that's even talked about up and down, because that's how Axe likes to play. A super strong, abnormally fast, heavy weapon with huge hitboxes, tons of damage. The game plan for this weapon is super simple. You know, spacing is definitely not among the hardest in the game, and of course the amount of people, especially in NA, playing this weapon definitely prove that it's been super effective. The players who've been winning the majors as of late have all been Axe players. You probably know them. Luna playing Taros, Snowy on Rayman, Cody Travis, though admittedly a Blasters player, still has an Axe on his legend. Then of course you have players scattered around the top, not exactly maining Axe, but definitely putting it to some use, like Boomy playing Jala during Omen Oasis, Costelix on Ulgrim, and Experience on Zul. Fortunately for us, it's not been so overwhelmingly strong that it has caused literally every match to be Axe mirror matches, which kind of happened in 2020, except it was for Greatsword instead. I remember quite clearly actually seeing Greatsword just about every other game in during BCX, and it was some of the most stale Brawlhalla I've seen in years.
Oh yeah.
He's just gonna wait on the other side.
Yeah. He's convinced this is his only way to victory. If I don't engage, I cannot be hit.
I honestly do prefer now to then, and I think most would agree with me. However, Axe is not that much better, because not only is Axe strong, but it's easy. It's one of the most simple weapons in the game, which makes it even more infuriating since players are able to win more by doing less, which leads to rewarding gameplay that is not only unfun to play or play against, but also to watch. Now, this stuff is all facts, right? We all know Axe is one of the more simple weapons in the game. We know Axe is super strong, and we know Axe is prevalent in pro play. It's the meta. But I don't think you should care, and here's why. If you lurk around Twitter and in the Brawl community, you will hear a lot of uproar, especially following tournaments, from frustrated players talking about their opponents or the game. Now, I don't involve myself in drama. I do like to be somewhat informed, which is why I'm on Twitter at all, but I don't really say anything, and I'm a lot like Exoup really, where I get online, I tweet some dumb shit once in a while, and disappear, except Exoup is a serial killer and I'm just stupid. After this year's Winter Championships, we hear some talk about Axe, and I'm not here to pick sides, but I'm just showing that, you know, yeah, people are arguing about the current game state. But notice something. Notice that these guys are professional players. They practice, they play a lot, and they play at the highest level. I sincerely doubt any pro players actually watch me. Maybe if Costelix sees a video that might have me saying his name, he'd come take a peek just to make sure I'm not talking trash, which I am, by the way, Cole, though I know you just want me to say your name, so yeah, there you go. But anyways, you guys are most likely not pro players. You guys are most likely not even Diamond. I know there's plenty of Diamond players who do watch me, but even for you guys, as long as you're not like above 2300 or something, then this will probably relate to you too. And sure, maybe up here in the Elo you might see more and more people play Axe, but there is still tons of diversity because we aren't at the highest level. The stakes aren't as high on the ranked ladder or experimental. There's no money to play for. We're just playing Brawl to play Brawl. If someone is playing Axe, it doesn't mean they're meta slaving or whatever. They probably just enjoy the weapon. So yeah, let them play it. But this means even more at low elo. Take a gold player, for example, because, you know, gold players are our scapegoats, so it's time to use them as an example again. You guys in the silvers make up the majority of players, so it's safe to say that most players just listen to what the pros say, right? Because they're good at the game. Why not listen to them? Well, sometimes you have to realize that what they say doesn't necessarily apply to you. When a pro says Queen Nai is the worst character in the game, you might go, wait a second, isn't Queen Nai broken? Her signatures are impossible to punish. Well, that's because the skill levels are just too far apart. Pro players are not going to think the same things that you do, so you shouldn't take what they say as fact, because it doesn't apply. Now, when you look at Brawlhalla as a whole, it's a pretty balanced game. You can play anyone at any skill level and still have that chance to win, though you know, a bit narrow at the top, but none of us are at the top, okay, let's be honest. So I don't want to hear gold players complaining that Axe is meta and everyone around them is meta slaving, because those guys probably don't even know how to play Axe optimally. You're just looking for an excuse to lose. Sure, it's one of the easier weapons. No one is going to argue Axe is difficult compared to the other weapons, at least, unless you're delusional, of course. But most guys around you are most likely playing Axe just because they like it, not because it's the only way for them to win. Does the game state suck? Maybe. But we just play the game casually, or we just play at such a low level from pros that this shouldn't really bother us at all. We're not missing chances on bags of cash because we lose. We're just losing a game. And we can easily just queue up again right after, no biggie. Now, I'm not just saying to ignore the problem or it isn't a problem, because it is. Game state is definitely a game-wide problem, and you have the right to complain, and BMG needs to listen. But it's just that I see a lot of people using it kind of just as an excuse to lose to things now, just because, you know, they're like, oh, Axe is just broken? Okay, yeah, Axe is broken. If I lose to Axe, they're just garbage. They suck. They have no skill. It's just, you know, that just kind of annoys me. So I also hear about people who don't even play Brawl anymore, or people who are just being discouraged from playing Brawl because they're hearing that the game state sucks, instead of, you know, really seeing it for themselves. I feel like hearing this news is kind of like affecting the way they view the game. So whenever they play the game, they kind of every time they see Axe, they're like, oh, that's the problem they're talking about, right? It's because of this extra information that it's kind of like skewing the way they perceive things. So game state, yes, okay, it's kind of icky, but I don't think that you should really worry about it too much. Sure, you can complain about it, because I mean, it is gonna, you know, hurt the game a lot, but if you're like a more casual player, I don't think it's much to worry about. That's the main message of the video, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll make the Arcadia video later. Jesus Christ.